Welcome to the channel. Today, we will explore the incredible story of Joan of Arc, the Maid of Orléans, a young peasant girl who, guided by unshakable faith, became one of the most iconic figures in history. Join us on this journey of courage, sacrifice, and redemption. Early years and visions. Joan of Arc was born on January 6, 1412, in the village of Domremy, in northeastern France. The daughter of peasants, Joan grew up in a country devastated by the Hundred Years' War, an endless conflict between France and England. Curious fact, from an early age, Joan stood out for her religious devotion. At the age of 13, she began hearing voices that she believed were from saints, including Saint Michael the Archangel, Saint Catherine of Alexandria, and Saint Margaret. These voices instructed her to take bold actions, drive the English out of France, and ensure the coronation of Charles VII as the legitimate king. Despite being a young peasant girl, Joan did not hesitate to follow her calling. At just 16 years old, she left her home to seek the support of the Dauphin Charles, the heir to the French throne. Her journey took her to Vaucouleurs, where, after much persistence, she convinced the captain of the garrison to take her to Charles VII. The journey to recognition. Joan arrived at the court of Charles VII in Chinon, where she was subjected to rigorous examination to prove the legitimacy of her visions. Theologians, nobles, and even the queen scrutinized her intentions and sanctity. They believed that if Joan was an impostor, it could be a blow to the already weakened morale of France. Curious fact, during an encounter with Charles VII, Joan is said to have identified the Dauphin disguised among the court, a feat considered miraculous, as she had never seen him before. This episode strengthened Charles's trust in Joan. After gaining the Dauphin's trust, Joan was equipped with armor and a sword, and was given a banner with the image of God and the lilies of France. She became a symbolic figure, embodying the hope of a desperate country. The Campaign of Orléans. Orléans, a key city in the war, was besieged by the English. In April 1429, Joan led an army to relieve the city. Despite being young and inexperienced in military matters, her unwavering faith and charismatic leadership inspired the French soldiers. Curious fact, during the fighting, Joan was wounded by an arrow to the shoulder, but after recovering, she returned to the battle. Her courage and resilience bolstered the troops' morale. On May 8, 1429, the English lifted the siege, marking a crucial turning point in the war. The victory at Orléans was just the beginning. Joan continued her campaign, leading the French army to several important victories. Her influence extended beyond the battlefield as she advised Charles VII on strategic and political decisions. The coronation of Charles VII. In July 1429, Joan accompanied Charles VII to the city of Reims, an important religious and political center. There, on July 17th, Charles was crowned King of France in Reims Cathedral, with Joan by his side, holding her banner. Inspiring fact, the coronation was a moment of triumph for Joan, who saw her divine mission partially fulfilled. Emotional, she declared, "The work of God is accomplished." Capture and trial. Despite her victories, the political situation in France remained tense. In May 1430, Joan was captured during an ambush at Compiègne by the Burgundians, allies of the English. Joan's capture was a severe blow to French morale. Curious fact, Joan was sold to the English by the Burgundians, a gesture reflecting the complex political alliances of the time. The English saw Joan as a threat to their legitimacy and decided to put her on trial for heresy. Joan's trial was conducted by the Inquisition in Rouen. The charges included heresy, witchcraft, and wearing men's clothing. The trial was a farce from the beginning, with the aim of discrediting Joan and weakening the newly crowned Charles VII. Detailed fact, The tribunal was mostly composed of French clerics aligned with the English. Joan was denied a defense lawyer and subjected to intense psychological pressure. Despite this, she maintained her composure and faith, responding intelligently and with conviction to the accusations. Curious fact: one of the most emblematic moments of the trial was when Joan was questioned about her use of men's clothing. She explained that it was a matter of protection and convenience during battles and to avoid harassment while in captivity. After months of interrogations and without a lawyer to defend her, Joan was found guilty of heresy and sentenced to death. Death and legacy. On May 30th, 1431, Joan of Arc was burned at the stake in the marketplace of Rouen. Witnesses reported that her last words were, "Jesus, Jesus, Jesus." She was only 19 years old. Curious fact: even after her death, Joan continued to inspire. 25 years later, an investigation conducted by Pope Calixtus III rehabilitated Joan, declaring her innocent of the charges. In 1920, she was canonized as a saint by the Catholic Church, becoming one of the patron saints of France. Joan of Arc is remembered not only as a martyr, but as a symbol of courage and faith. Her story transcends time and continues to inspire those who fight for justice and freedom. Her life is a testimony to the power of unshakable belief and a courageous heart. Joan of Arc left us with a lesson in determination and faith. Her story is proof that even in the face of the most insurmountable adversities, it is possible to make a difference. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends. Let us know in the comments what inspired you most about Joan of Arc's story. See you next time.